Hey everybody, what's up from Roll, Minnesota, your state of skate. Hey, I'm Butch Lehman, and today we're in for another episode of Rolling Reactions. Now, earlier this week, we watched Colin Kelso. He's one of the Kelso brothers, a pair of legendary skaters that have some of the most technical skating, best style, best switch-ups, and I absolutely love those two. So we're rounding out the week this week by finishing it up by flipping the script over to the other brother, Colin Kelso. And Colin is another skater that's well worthy of receiving some recognition. So in this video, we're going to take a look at a few of Colin Kelso's earlier sections, starting with one of my favorites. I absolutely love the Denial video, Underestimated, and Colin's section is one of my favorites of all time, so we're going to start there. After that, we'll jump a few years into the future with the sequel video from Denial, Underestimated, which is another phenomenal video. Lastly, we'll take something that features some Minnesota spots, and that was Colin's video part for NIMH, back when NIMH skates were still a brand. So strap yourselves in, definitely a worthy skater, definitely some really clean style and some amazing tricks about to happen. Let's check it out. All right, we're gonna start things off with his profile in Underestimated. Again, fantastic video, highly recommend this one, and they just had a monster of a lineup coming into this video. Check that out, cess slide, top acid, gets the 180 out. Such clean style, and every trick is really hard. It's like non-stop technical hammers. It's like an outspin wall ride. I always thought this was pretty cool too. He's like skating up the slide, like putting a playground to use and making it a different type of playground, since that's what it is for us, right? We're like kids out enjoying our own playground. In fact, there was a video that Con Artist produced that was called Urban Playground, and so that might be an apt description for what we do. The thread the needles, man. So many good thread the needles from the Kelsos, and Colin is probably the best thread the needle skater on street spots that I've ever seen. Got the Unity cess slide. Like, everyone killed this bridge spot in Underestimated. Remember, Walt Austin had some really cool tricks there too. See this spot show up in a lot of Philadelphia videos as well. He's getting a line, 3 different tricks. Pretty impressive way to do it. Really stylish on that landing. Awesome 540. Look at that, he gets like the med spin going into that one with the Liu Kang. Full alley-oop top horn. Yeah, so going back to Underestimated, I think one of the reasons why I really like this video, besides it just being my first video, is just the lineup. Like, Chris Farmer had a profile, Chris Cheshire, the Kelso brothers, Rob Thompson. There's numerous others that I'm forgetting, but what a lineup it was, and such a great video, and to have that much content. There's that handicap rail getting destroyed again. I'm sure there's going to be those of you that are watching this that remember the Kelso brothers and their notorious slider bar edits in their basement. I think they released 4 of them, maybe 5 if there's a more modern one that they did outside, I think, involving ledges. But they'd build their custom little P-rails in the basement and just absolutely murdered them. And I know that was the inspiration for a lot of people to put together their own P-rails. Look at that, he's just doing a 900 over stairs, just straight up over the stairs. No landing besides like the flat ground, and that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Not a lot of room for error on something like that. Makey 5 out of alley-oop acid. That's pretty unreal. That ledge always looked fun to me. Got the second angle here at the fisheye. Nice. Little shifty action on that one. That's a tough trick, that like 270 front Savannah, I guess is what we would call it. Really tough one. Zero acid. True spin soul. Which, if you ask me, true spin soul is a lot more difficult than it looks. Out of all the true spin tricks, one of the harder ones for me. I put it behind true spin acid, but it's a tough one. You can definitely tell, like, the earlier days. Was that fakey 360 thread the needle? That was sick. You can definitely tell the earlier days, late 90s, early 2000s, with the really baggy clothes. That was the style. And you'll notice the change going into some of the later video parts that we'll look at, especially his NIMH profile. Very different clothing style. Still, though, even in these early days, he had a lot of control over his body position, and like, I feel like he looks very smooth in the skating, even at an early age. That fish. Little out of control on that 180, but that's a big one. There's a big gap out of that. Yikes. I like finding the transition spots in the streets. I'm more of a transition park skater myself, so when you can find that kind of stuff out in the real world, I love that. Yeah, grind the water. The last trick in this one's a pretty big one. Thread the needle out from a handrail. Everyone's stoked on that. All right, next up is Opinions, another denial video. This is the one that actually came after Underestimated. And again, really great cast, really great lineup in this video. A lot of great tricks, great styles. Loved what they were doing out there in Philadelphia, and still are. Ooh, that was a big drop coming out of that. Almost looked like he wanted to do full, like, fakey 360 out. Or at least his body was fighting it. Really confident on that alley-oop top acid on ledges. A trick that I never really had a lot of comfort doing. I've done my share of them, but not one of my better ones, that's for sure. Definitely no familiar, no stranger to taking big drops. To the outspin top horn. I love that trick too. Pallet roll. That's something you don't see very often. Telling you guys, these ledges, they got so destroyed in this video. He rewinds out of that. I just noticed that as the 450 front farv in the one direction, and then coming back the other way. Really hard to stop the momentum like that. I forgot about this one too, though. That's a big unity. Nice. Usually when you see the big gaps, you see like 180 or maybe a 540. Not often you get like a zero spin or a fakey 360 on the gaps. So it's kind of nice to get that variation. Huge wall ride to drop. These playground rails too, like what are up with these? I don't understand why these are there, but this is like every blader's dream, is to have just these random practice handicap rails like that. That is such a big wall ride. Outspinning it. Man, and that curb came up quick, didn't it? You know, you forget how good some of these older sections are until you watch them back and try to compare them to your own frame of mind nowadays. And it's kind of mind-boggling to me to see some of this stuff. Like, check this out. True soul, full true soul, full cab out? Like, what? I could try that all day and not lock that once. Full true acid. Go on the top of the ledge on that. For a while I thought it was going to be an underbar trick. Oh no, dude. Alley-oop Macchio. Full thread the needle out. He's just way too good at that. That's the only explanation. It's got to be witchcraft. I will say, I have done thread the needles. I'm pretty good at them. I can't do it spinning. I've never done it out of a grind. Like that, for instance. It's a trick that feels really fun to do and is actually not that difficult to do once you learn it, but it's almost always dangerous. Like, you have to be prepared to catch yourself if you trip yourself. And you never really know when that's going to happen. Huge 540, like the bird flapping in the background. That was sick. All right, to wrap this up, we're going to take a look at a profile that Colin was filming with NIMH skates. And several of the tricks for this were filmed in Minnesota, so I recognize some of these spots. Not many of them, but a few. And it's really cool to see these legendary bladers come out and skate something that you've skated yourself. So you definitely see the difference in his style here, especially in the way he's dressing. But he still has just that really clean, fluid skating that you can't help but love and admire. Unreal. It's a lot of momentum to take into a wall. I never thought I'd be saying that. Pretty stylish on that. I love this trick. Fakie 5 with a beautiful mute grab. And I've said this earlier, but those street transitions, I'm all about those. So when you can find air elements and park elements in the streets, it just adds a whole different like look for a street profile. Fast plant to wall ride. This ledge looks really fun. Got 2 tiers to it. Just think of the transfer possibilities. Still throwing down those 540s like nothing. If you notice that, the close-up of the frame, he's riding freestyle frames here, so it makes those gaps a little more dangerous when you don't have the inner wheels. You know, I'm a flat rocker skater personally, so you have 4 wheels in each blade rather than just the 2. And definitely makes for a different dynamic, both for grinds, but also for carrying speed, for landing, for shock absorption. I could never get tired of this trick. Sorry, that was a wheelie bad joke. Going up the ledge. Going back down the ledge. Not sure where he's going with this. And spin top acid. There's got to be more. Oh, there's the alley-oop acid. It was an acid line. That's scary. Not a lot of room for error on that. I love this. The spot looks really cool, and just the trick selection on that. This one too. Must use all feet. Both feet, getting in on the trick, getting some action. Cess slide downstairs to a ledge. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Here's a Minnesota spot. It's a lot harder to skate than it looks, and I never would have thought of using that little inner ledge as a obstacle. So that creative mind, that's creative thinking right there. I like that too. Really unusual transition line. Again, he's using the wall. He's been doing a lot of those in this video. I guess that's 2, but it's 2 more than I was expecting to see. Yeah, props to all the people out there that cess slide stairs. Just seems like you're asking for trouble. Another Minnesota spot here. It's a lot bigger than it looks. Really fun ledge spot though, if I'm being honest. Nice work. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode on Colin Kelso. We checked in with Sean Kelso earlier this week. I thought it'd be appropriate to bookmark the week by wrapping it up with Colin. And both of the Kelso brothers are phenomenal skaters. They're some of the most technical skaters that I've ever seen. And I love how each one carries their own tricks and their own style and their own identity into their skating, despite often being seen as a package deal. They are individuals and they both bring something unique to the table. So I'm all about that. Hope you guys enjoyed the Kelso brothers this week. They have so many sections that it was hard to choose just a few to focus on. So definitely check some of the other ones out if you get the opportunity. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this one. I'm Butch Lehman of Roll, Minnesota. And remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and get out there and do some rollerblading. I know I'm going to go out to the Windy City Riot this weekend. Hopefully, it's a good day. That's what I'm looking for. We'll see you guys with the next video. Till then, peace, everybody.